What's happening, Crypto Farm? Happy Tuesday. Good morning and welcome back to Love for Crypto. I'm Scott. It's a pleasure to have you here. I appreciate you taking the time out to consume the content, so thank you. This morning, we're on Bank of England, Cbdc's, MIT, and legal tender, baby. Oh yeah. It's pretty dark. Clock's gone forward, didn't there? Have to wait a few weeks for it to start getting lighter again. I hate putting clocks back. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anywho, the Bank of England and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, aka MIT, have agreed to collaborate on a 12-month joint research project into central bank digital currencies. Alongside MIT Media Lab's Digital Currency Initiative, DCI, the bank will explore the potential challenges, trade-offs and risks involved in designing a Cbdc system. The project is intended to be for research purposes only and will not result in an operational Cbdc. Excuse me. Britain's central bank has been exploring blockchain for several years now, and Cbdc's more recently, in March 2020, it released a discussion paper, link in the description, on the opportunities and challenges developing a Cbdc could bring, to which the DCI responded with proposed solutions. All hyperlinked in the article, linked in the description. They also released an up-to-date discussion paper on March 24th. We actually covered that a little bit last week. CBDCs are being looked at across other areas of the UK government and public sector as well. In January, the House of Lords Economic Affairs Committee released a report that concluded there was no need to rush into developing a British CBDC. While a CBDC may provide some advantages on speed of settlement and cheaper and faster cross-border payments, it would present significant challenges for financial stability and the protection of privacy. Interesting. Would it? Maybe not if you used high-level encryption, cryptography and DLT, maybe not. The Bank of England's actually the third bank to join the DCI's Open Cbdc project, following on from the Bank of Canada and the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, which began collaborating in September 2020. CBDC research and testing has been ramped up globally over the course of last year. Nigeria and the Bahamas have already launched their CBDCs, and China is currently piloting its digital yuan across millions of active users. It is fascinating to see the Bank of England and America literally crawl forward with this new technology, and to see other countries actually just hit the ground running with it, quite frankly. The discussion paper is a PDF. You can find it on the hyperlink. March 2020. Actually, where's the updated one? Bank has also published a summary of responses to the paper. So, electric form of central bank money. Central bank digital currency would be electronic form of central bank money. The bank has not yet made a decision on whether to introduce CBDCs and intends to engage widely with stakeholders on the benefits, risks, and practices of doing so. They go on to say that literally £10 of CBDCs, it'd be it'd be the equivalent of £10 note. Any CBDC will be introduced alongside rather than replacing cash, as said last week. Many people are clueless to the true potential of blockchain, cryptocurrency, CBDCs, DLT, and it makes me wonder at what point are the mainstream media, at what point are schools going to teach kids about it, at what point are the majority of people going to understand that it's more than that Bitcoin thing, because that gets tiresome. extremely quick. Extremely quick. So there is a hell of a lot of read more information on this report. I don't think I've ever covered the whole page of this, to be honest, but it goes on from an electronic form of money, read more. Money and payments are changing, read more. The use of banknotes, the bank's most accessible form of money, is declining, and use of privately issued money continues to increase. Now, privately issued money is the interesting part, because regardless of what the Bank of England do with the CBDCs, Tesco can just say, we only accept Tesco coin, and it's only if you're in debt with Tesco do they actually have to accept the legal tender as payment. Now, one could argue, when I walk in Tesco and pick up a can of Coke, I've got that fucking Coke, it's mine, and I am instantly then in debt to Tesco, and I've got to clear the debt of that Coke before I can leave the store with it. Some people might not agree with that, but some people will agree with it. It's an interesting thing to think about. But Amazon taking only Amazon coin is legitimate unless you are in debt with Amazon. Then they would have to accept the legal tender to cover the debt. Let's get through this and then we'll have a little chin about it. So money and payments are changing, banknotes are barely being fucking used, opportunities for the bank's objectives, but designing a CBDC, you can read more on each of these categories. What technology could CBDC use? Choices around the technology used for CBDCs are important, as they would have a significant impact on the extent which CBDCs meet our overall objective. The technology used to power CBDCs should be chosen on the basis of our design principles. There are trade-offs between different design principles, so we have to strike right and get the balance in order to achieve the bank's policy objectives. Interesting. So what is legal tender? Bitcoin is legal tender in El Salvador. That doesn't mean every shop. If we're going off UK laws anyway, I don't know if theirs is slightly different, but off UK laws, El Salvador has made Bitcoin legal tender. That doesn't mean every shop in El Salvador has to accept Bitcoin. It just doesn't mean that. It's not what it means. It means if someone is in debt to you and they offer the money in the legal tender, you have to accept it. You have that it clears the debt. It clears the debt. It's as simple as that. Legal tender clears the debt. So many people are confused about what legal tender means. It's actually about settling debts rather than how you can pay for things. Again, we can argue that once I've picked something up in a shop, I'm in debt until I've paid for said thing, and I've got a, there's a grey area. There's a fine line between the two. English banknotes aren't legal tender in Scotland. Scottish notes aren't legal tender in England or Scotland. Debit cards, cheques and contactless aren't legal tender anywhere. So you might have heard someone in a shop say, but it's legal tender. Most people think it means the shop has to accept the payment form, but that's not the case. The shop owner can choose what payment they accept. If you want to pay for a pack of gum with £50 note, it's perfectly legal to turn you down. Likewise, all other banknotes. Likewise, for all other banknotes, it's a matter of discretion. If your local corner shop decided to only accept payments in Pokemon cards, that would be within their right to do so. But they would probably lose a little bit of custom, obviously. Legal tender is narrow technical meaning which has no use in everyday life. It means that you can offer to pay off a debt to someone in legal tender. They can't refuse you for failing to repay. Or they can't sue you, sorry. They can't sue you for failing to repay. So once I say, once you say to me, you owe me some money, you're in debt to me, give me the money, or I'm suing you, I'm taking you to court. I could just say, right, well, it's there in pounds. I've got it there in pounds. You're asking for me in XRP. I don't give a shit. I'm offering it you in pounds, mate. You can't sue me. If we're in the UK and I'm offering you to settle a debt in pounds, you can't sue me about it just because you want XRP. I'm offering you the legal tender to cover the debt. That's what legal tender is all about. Alright? It's fascinating. So what's actually classed as legal tender? Well, do you remember when I did my little video about what I deem real money and fake money? Notes being fake money, most coins being fake money, and actual Royal Mint motherfucking metals being real money. What's classed as legal tender varies throughout the UK. In England and Wales, it's Royal Mint coins and Bank of England notes. Worth noting, a penny is a Royal Mint coin, a 20p is, a 50p is, a pound is. It doesn't have to be a fucking Britannia ounce fucking gold coin. However, there are some restrictions when using small coins. For example, 1p, 2p coins only count as legal tender for any amount up to 20p. Many common and safe payment methods such as cheques, debit cards and contactless aren't legal tender, but again, it makes no difference in everyday life. When the Bank of England notes stop being legal tender then? Well, the notes stop being legal tender when the bank withdraws them. We usually give several months notice of the date we will withdraw a note. Before this happens, we design a new bank note and start issuing it. Our notes always keep their face value. If your local bank, building society or post office it won't accept them, you can exchange them with us. That means the old £5 notes are now not legal tender. You can exchange them with a bank, but they're not legal tender anymore. They always keep the face value. That's fucking laughable, isn't it? That's fucking laughable. They always keep their face value. Basically, a £10 note's always worth £10, but is £10 worth what it was last year? The answer's no for those at the back. So, we've got some other hyperlinks at the bottom here. We've got what is money, how do card payments work, will cash die out, and what is GDP. I understand a lot of people don't really give a shit about this and don't feel the need to educate themselves about it and blah, blah, blah. That's your discretion and fair enough. But teach your kids about it. Teach your kids about finances, about financial world, about fiat currency, about investing in some alternative private currencies and assets. Because Great British pound's a private currency. I don't care what anyone says. It might be legal tender. It might be legal tender, but it's privately issued. Privately issued, mate. So, what's all that about? What's all that about? Anyway, on that note, Moskies, you know the script. Invest in yourself, invest in internet of value, live long and hodl it all, never let it go. Get it staked, get it baked. Look after the pot till the pot looks after you. So it's pretty fucking simple staking, really, isn't it? If you just keep feeding the pot until you're looking at the rewards thinking, shit, I can live off them now. Job done. Regardless of what NFTs and bullshit fucking metaverse land and all that shit you own. Regardless of all that bullshit. Just get enough money in a staking protocol and eventually the rewards will fund your life. If you put enough in. It's simple maths. Put enough in, you'll get enough out. Right? Yeah. So, enjoy the rest of your week. It's Tuesday, baby. Bank of England and that taking fucking ages. But they'll get there in the end. We love crypto. I wanted to say we love the idea of CBDCs, but I actually don't. Fuck them. I love you though. So wishing health and happiness to you and yours. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.